Welcome, everybody. It's your boy, the Versace Stunner, with another episode of VSW Podcast. And tonight, it's a special one. We're talking and recapping NCW Sweet Victory. Again, I am your boy, the Versace Stunner, alongside
Disabled Heat.
And we are very excited to talk about the return of NCW Wrestling.
And it's sweet, sweet victory.
Sweet, sweet, sweet victory it is. I mean, we'll get into all the action and all that took place. And there was some pretty good matches on this card, I have to admit. Was it as strong as this show? As last year's comeback? No. But last year's comeback was the Big City Rumble, and we waited so long, and we had all these build-up shows and all these matches. And yes, there was some conclusions from WrestleFest, but I think it's going to take a little bit for NCW to hop into the season and get things going.
That's what I think too, Versace.
Let's we'll talk a little bit about the first opening matchup, and that was,
That was an inner Dirt City murder clue explosion.
It is. And for me, well, I'm going to be honest. It's not something that we haven't seen before in the wrestling universe. Even in New England. I mean, we've seen these matches over and over again in Proving Ground for the Proving Ground World title.
RWA, too.
We saw the title change hands. We saw this. These two guys are great wrestlers.
Ricky
Individually,
Medeiros and the ace, Mike Montero.
Both of them. They've made names for themselves across New England. Both are very well executed in the way that they handle themselves. I love it. You used to be able to even see Mike all the way back, even if you go back into the time, you would see him in Limitless Wrestling in a tag team.
Yeah.
And, he was great then, too. Dirt City Murder Crew, Detox, whatever you want to call them, Ricky Medeiros, Jason Divine.
It was a pretty great way to open up the card.
It was, because they're high. Like I said, the chemistry between these two are amazing, because they are good close friends. Like, they're tag team partners. You saw no hate at the end of that match.
Yeah, no hate at all. They showed great sportsmanship at the end, kind of like the Channing Vern match in WrestleFest.
Kind of like that, and sometimes you gotta put your feelings aside and, look to the better man. This was kind of that case. It was a very explosive match, though, very mobile, a lot of exciting moves. I love their super kicks. Both of them have very good super kicks.
Yeah. Have super kick party.
Can be with these guys. And, it was a toss-up here of who was going to take this victory.
Yeah.
As both of them are really cool, just really up there. Mike, former champion there.
Yeah. Mike Montero, former New England champion, lost to one of the best matches in NCW 2021 against Riot Kellen Thomas for the New England Championship.
I actually fell asleep during that match, but I heard it was pretty good.
Ha 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 ha.
But yeah, honestly though, great match, though, but it was Ricky Medeiros taking the victory.
Absolutely, it was fault with a cutter.
It was.
The cutter move on Mike Montero.
Well, he is the cutter Kowalski, and
yeah.
he proved it. And, he had a dangerous cutter. I mean, it's up there with, honestly, with the RKO.
And I'm surprised, Jason Divine is recovering from an injury, but will they align again as a face stable in NCW?
Who knows? I mean, we don't know what's going on. I mean, between them and, like I said, what happened in Proving Ground, they've been mixed match, back together, fighting, hating each other. I don't know. I'm kind of hoping this feud ends here between them. I don't really want to see them wrestle each other again, either team up or go your separate ways kind of deal. I really think they're all great individual wrestlers. I'd like to see Ricky with some individual gold around his belt. Around his waist, not just tag titles. I think he would make a great New England champ. What is it? What's it called? New England champion? Yeah, New England champion. I think he would make a great New England champion, Ricky. I think that's something that could be in his future.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely Versace.
But yes, it was a great way to open this matchup. I'm going to give this match, what are we rating this out of, 1 through 5?
I'd say 4 stars.
Yeah, I'm going to give this opening match a 4 star. Even though we have seen this match before and there is the repetitive factor, we haven't really seen it in NCW. And they did deliver, and it gave the excitement that the crowd, I think, needed to open up that contest. Ooh, starting the car. We're going to start our cruising for a bruising journey? Pretty
we
soon.
actually are pretty soon, folks.
Pretty soon, folks. We will be back on the road doing live interviews with professional wrestlers across the country. I can't wait. I know you all can't wait. Cruising for a bruising. But yeah, so NCW, next matchup.
The next match is a 10-man tag team match between the Hoods, Davey Cash and Chris Brown, accompanied by the Money Man, Kevin Castro, and the League of Excellence, Stephen Lust, the Flawless Nick Diamond, with the Hack, Dallas McCarthy, and Sam Radcliffe. And you got 5 guys thrown together here. You got CPA Nick Stapp, the Undertaxer. You got Robbie the Giant, Dr. Hersey, the guy, the doctor everyone loves to be with. You got New England standout beginning student, Sean the Vegan Keegan with the plant-based power, and Aaron Academia in a 10-man tag team match.
Originally, I thought this was going to be a 4-way tag match to determine who the number 1 tag team contenders were. Was I correct with that? Was that how originally supposed to be?
We weren't seeing things. It was originally going to be that way.
Okay, I just was making sure I wasn't like smoking too much or something that night and just saw it differently. But, a great kind of thing, I always like seeing Kevin Castro show up.
Oh, me too. He's
Every
hilarious.
time he shows up, I like to throw him a couple of dollars.
Kind of like how chaotic is with Davey Ann.
Yeah, everybody gives her $1. I like to give Kevin Castro $1. I think all the fans should put out $1 for Kevin. I tried to give him a little bit of money when he was injured during his GoFundMe.
But I think too many people did, and that's why they haven't given him money.
Well, no, he made a lot. He made a killing. And plus, he made a killing on all that betting. But, he's got one of the best legendary tag teams of New England.
The Cashes.
The Cash.
The Hoods.
The Hoods, rather. I mean, you got Davey Cash and Chris Pyro. These guys are legends. I mean, they've been at this game a long time. They still can be on top. They can take those titles anytime they want. And, to be honest with you, I mean, they're doing big things. They started their own. They kind of went their own way. They got their own promotion. Gladiators. We got to get out there this year.
Absolutely.
Check out that. Great tag team. Then you have the League of Excellence coming out.
Which is a team thrown together, but they're proven to be pretty dominant.
It was, originally I think it was kind of, you had Dylan Nix, you had a bunch of people that just had no home. And Dallas McCarthy found that home for these guys and girls. Mm-hmm. And he's now showing how excellent they can be.
And I was very disappointed to see Stephen Lust. I yelled, he let the less great professional wrestler down.
You did. You did. You started screaming at him about Chad Epic, and he told you it was just money.
Yeah.
That's the thing about VSW. I don't know what it is. We are magnets to managers for some reason.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
I don't know. But you and Dallas got into it a little bit.
Yeah.
At one point. And, and I mean, I hate to even bring it up because we really never bring up any negativity here on the VSW podcast. But I don't know if he was just overly excited, overly anxious, or whatever it is. But when you started belligerent and blathering in his face, he turned around and called you the R word.
Oh, yeah. Ooh,
and then he started to mimic you as if, have you ever seen that clip on, the news of Trump mimicking that guy?
Yeah.
He started doing that gesture. And now, I mean, I don't know. After everything that's taken place on the internet over the years and everything, I was just kind of surprised by it.
The sacrifices I make for the wrestling
Well,
business.
I mean, your name is Disabled Wolf. I think that's pretty loud and clear. Why would you drop the R word, especially to that I don't know.
I mean, we're gonna deal with it though.
I mean, we're just gonna drop it. I mean, it's not something. It's just something. I mean, I'm. It's glad it happened to us, and not to someone that would take it more to heart. That's all I want to say. You know what I'm saying? Because it can really destroy a fan's, vision of what wrestling should be, or never want to go back to that show. And I'd hate to see that happen over something. He definitely was anxious when he said it. I could see him getting nervous. We cornered him like you cornered John Alva. John Alva got nervous. He called you a mutant.
He still gets nervous.
He still gets nervous. Now, he might not have called you the R word, but he called you a mutant.
Oh, big time.
But, yeah, I mean, it's just something to kind of hear. I'm not going to make a big deal of it. We don't want to make a big deal of it. It's just something, like, I'm glad it happened to us rather than happen to somebody else, because that can be a nightmare. You don't want anybody to get canceled over something said at a wrestling show.
Exactly.
But either is it acceptable to drop that word, and I can't really condone it. But, with that being said, what a tag team matchup you had here, okay? You did have a little beef between those two. What are you guys doing here? Hey, what are you guys doing here? Steven lost them, the Cashes. You had all these guys going kind of at it at first, not really wanting to team up. And then they jumped together and they kind of solidified.
But the crowd really loves Robbie the Giant, don't they?
They do. Robbie the Giant is amazing, okay? God, remember, this guy almost, I think he was supposed to go to Saudi or something at one point. Wasn't he?
Yeah, I believe so. He was in the WLC match with Swoggle.
He was. We saw him he took the loss, but he did have a very entertaining match against
all these
the
guys
great
are
Tony
entertaining
Spencer.
In his own way, especially Dr. Hershey.
Oh, Dr. Hershey's a legend of New England, and I mean, this guy's just great. And
he's battling the front lines.
We saw him in a different light. We've usually seen him in that bad guy role, and well, he shined here.
Yeah.
In the good guy role, and I think the fans were very receptive.
And he wears a mask when he wrestles.
He did. He always has. Even before the pandemic, he's been smart. He probably knew what was coming.
And you got a CPA acting like his inner Orange Cassidy, and he tried to imitate a cover guy of our new game, WWE 2K12, trying to do a 619 on one of the wrestlers.
Oh, yeah.
It's like Michael Scott, Orange Cassidy, and Undertaker merged into one.
It is, but I mean, honestly, CPA is very, very talented. He's another great wrestler. Guy. And it's somebody that I'm glad to see in NCW, because I didn't really get to see him much before, only on TV in, like, Maine and such, and other promotions. And he had a different gimmick. He was the BBG girl, and he was doing big things. He went a little nutso over the pandemic, and then he came back. Then he came back, and he had that brutal match on WrestleFest with Tim Lennox.
Yeah.
And, we saw the return of Dan Terry.
Absolutely.
Which we did not see here at Sweet Victory.
And I also want to highlight how happy I am for this kid. His name's Plant-Based Power, Sean the Vegan Keegan. We met him in the Chaotic Lexington show. He's been a student for a few months, and has plant-based, very influenced by Bryan Danielson. I got to talk to him a little bit at the last Chaotic show. He loves our podcast. I want to shout him out.
My mom's a vegan. Did you know that?
Yeah, I knew. Oh, I know.
I used to be vegan too. It's not that bad. It can be done.
It's too hard for me.
No, it can be done. Especially nowadays. They actually have some really good vegan alternatives. Back when my mom even started vegan like 10 or 15 years ago, the alternatives really were just starting to come in. But now today it's incredible.
It's not just raw vegetables.
No. Now you got all sorts of stuff going on in plant-based dieting.
Mm-hmm.
But that's great for him. It is a great way to live. There's also there's a bunch of vegans.
Very acrobatic.
There's a bunch of vegans in the wrestling world. I'm looking at Travis Huckabee. He's vegan.
Most notably famous one is Bryan Danielson.
He is too, but I'm talking on the indie scene.
Yeah.
Bryan Danielson's been signed.
Kimberly.
Yep. This was a great matchup, but
the winner of this match was the Hale team of the Hoods and the League of Excellence. And right when they were going to turn on Dr. Hershey, the heavy hitter Shay Cash made his way and
Shay Cash came back, broke everything up, making his face, fighting. He has beef with the Cashes and Davey especially. And, I think they're going to see this kind of feud. And then we saw another kind of team up with Dr. Heresy and Robbie the Giant.
Robbie the Giant does have a #1 contendership to compete for BRG's championship in one of their next shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, we're going to have to check that out.
Absolutely. Are you ready to move on, Versailles?
I am.
The next match of the night was the It Ballroom Blitz. It's the third annual Ballroom Blitz.
Second or third? Third annual, right?
Third.
I believe the first one was 2020. We saw the last one, right? This would be the third annual.
Absolutely, and it did start out with one person that was appearing on AEW Dark Elevation with the NCW Women's Champion, which we'll get in later. LMK, Paris Van Dale and Shannon Levangie started it out.
Two great new and up-and-coming superstars. We've gone to see Levangie wrestle at Chaotic Wrestling.
And she had that flagship victory against one of the head trainers, Mr. Max Smash.
She did. She was upsetting everybody that was thrown at her, actually. Mm. And, we actually got to see LMK. She actually joined the announcing team for this matchup.
Absolutely. You have someone who I've seen the first night who was impressive was Ella Valentine.
Yeah. Yeah, she was. That was, when she came in, she came in with some force there, okay? It reminded me almost like of a Goldberg situation.
And the quickest elimination is Delilah Hayden with Tim Kilgore.
Yeah, we got to see Tim, still not ready to wrestle, but he did.
Trying to sing, and it got Delilah Hayden eliminated by Paris Van Dale.
And that's the thing. Paris isn't there to sing and dance. She's there to win.
Yeah. And Kilgore can be quite a distraction for Delilah Hayden.
I think Kilgore can be a distraction for most. I don't know if he's the best manager choice. I think Delilah Hayden was better off running with her former husband there, Dick Lane, in NCW there when she was with Turtles in Time and Steve Weiner and all of those guys. I don't know what turned in her heart, but now she's with Kilgore. She's doing the whole Broadway thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's really working out. But, with the quickest elimination, like I said,
Elle Valentine eliminated Shannon Levangie. After Shannon Levangie went out and eliminated Paris Van Dale, they got to show some skills against each other in the beginning of the match. But here comes the fire, Jesse Nolan.
Yeah, and you want to hear something now. You want to hear something great. This Saturday, actually, Pop-Up Wrestling. Okay, it's in Billerica. It's kind of a new promotion. They ran one other show. They partner up with NAWA, NAWA, out of Maine. Johnny Promotion there. And they're going to be doing a show, Pop-Up Wrestling, Nightmare Before Maine. You're actually going to be able to see Delilah Hayden versus Jesse Nolan one-on-one.
Absolutely.
So that's going to be a great matchup, just want to say.
Yeah.
And there won't be no distractions there. There'll just be a fight.
Absolutely. But she was eliminated by Ella Valentine. But the thing is, it was Suplex Sweetheart, last entrant, Isana with Dallas McCarthy, part of the new League of Excellence stable.
Yep, and she's in it, and she kind of, she's probably their strongest member, let me tell you that. Her and Nick Diamond are probably their most strongest members. Well, though, I don't know. I have to say Lust is a tag team specialist, though. Okay? Lust is a tag team specialist. Regardless of whatever tag team he's on, he's still a specialist. It's like HBK, The Rock is. You got Steven Lust and P-Dac. I don't know who Marty Jannetty is in the situation. I know P-Dac's a little spicy, so maybe he's Marty Party Marty. Maybe, Lust is the HBK here.
But Lust is world champion in Gladiators.
He is, so that's why. Maybe he is the HBK in this situation. And, but League of Excellence is doing excellent things in NCW. We can't take that away from Dallas McCarthy or any of these guys.
Yeah.
So, and it was, Isana, one of my first original people that I fell in love with for NCW, drew me in there was the Suplex Sweetheart, Isana. Just the way she she was in a deep feud with Sienna. Picture Perfect, and they had a great matchup.
Well, one of the first time I ever saw her wrestle was in that.
Yeah, and she gave a great matchup, and then the intermission, she was just really nice. Great, took pictures, signed my 8x10. Just was a great overall experience as a fan. And from there, I've seen her wrestle many times from all over the state, Jersey, everywhere I could go. I got the Purple Hearted shirt there with the
she's
little
a
symbol.
Lucky Pro, Proving Ground, RWA standout.
Wrestler's Laboratory, I went all the way out to see her wrestling. She had a match out there. It's great.
So our next match of the night is... Are you ready to move on?
I am ready to move on.
It starts off between Foxy, Kevin Campbell...
Well, actually, no. You know what? I just want to talk about it for a second because... now we're going to have this matchup here. She did win that, so she is in line for a title shot against Little Mean Kathleen. So, what do you think's going to happen with that match?
I do think Little Mean Kathleen will take it off when it comes, but it's hard to say because Isana's been looking really dominant with Dallas McCarthy.
It is hard to say because you're right. Little Mean Kathleen is on fire across the wrestling industry right now. But Isana is very strong. One of her strongest points in the last, couple of years, maybe. So, it's going to be a battle. And overall, I just wanted to rate. I would say I'd give this Ballroom Blitz a round. I'm going to give it a 3.5 just because I didn't really feel like there was a surprise factor. There was nobody, no surprise entrant.
No, Davey. Obviously, Ava's in Spain.
Yeah, but, there could have been somebody. I don't know, maybe. I don't know. I was just expecting maybe some kind of surprise. First year we saw Stephen Lusk come in. I don't know. But it was good, though. It was a great match. The women performed greatly. So it was nothing against them. And, again, okay, now I'm ready to move on. The next matchup was...
It starts off with Foxy, Kevin Campbell, Doc Ozone coming out greeting the fans. But Doc Ozone got the 2021 NCW Manager of the Year award.
He didn't say hi to you, though.
Neither did you.
No, he didn't say hi to the VSW. I don't know what we did. But any which way, congratulations on winning that award.
But it was interrupted by the man, the legend. He is back from the end of the WrestleFest, a shocking return of Osiris.
I couldn't be more happy for this. When I saw the beat drop in the entrance and the towel, and I was like, oh boy, you're in for it, Foxy. This is Osiris is back. And he's dangerous. He's deadly. And he turned around, he looked at us, he had all this blood in his mouth. He spit all over the place. Almost like Gangrel back in the day. He was in there for just one thing and one thing
was amazing.
Only. Pure destruction.
Absolutely. We're all happy to see Osiris back.
I was very happy to see Osiris back. He told people what he did, why he did it, why he attacked Atlee Green, ended his career, why he did what he did against Lumberjake. And, why he's doing what he does now.
He's disgusted with Ozone and Campbell, Foxy, Calvin, and they feel like they're not going anywhere, so he decided to take matters into his own hands.
He did, and, I think it, this new Osiris that we're seeing here is more dangerous and deadly than ever. And they fought. They had that match right then and there. It happened. The bell rang. They accepted the challenge, and Osiris and Foxy went at it, and they fought. And it was a brutal fight. And I'm going to tell you, I could see in Osiris's eyes, he was out to end Foxy Calvin's career. He wanted to end him.
He really did. He really did. He did have a huge ankle sprain on Foxy Campbell, which got thousands and thousands of views, baby.
Oh, yeah, on the BSW's podcast, you can check out all of our shorts and clips and videos that we took of this night. It did get a bunch of views. And, yeah, he went and tried to literally just destroy him. And, it was a very dominant Osiris. A very just cunning Osiris. I don't know, something different about him.
Yeah.
And he's going to be in that world, like, obviously I'm not going to spoil it, but the world champion needs to watch out.
Oh, absolutely.
Because Osiris will have that gold again. He has held it before, and he'll hold it again.
He's on the path of destruction.
He is. He really, really is. And he took a dominant victory over Foxy Calvin.
And he was so upset about to Doc that he was about to attack him. And then the NCW fan favorite, the Lumberjake.
Lumberjake came in and, was like... Lumberjake came in and went crazy all over everybody. And, Osiris was basically like, yo, I'm out. Like, it wasn't really me. And same thing with the ref. The ref came out. Rob Greer. Because didn't BRG come out too?
Yeah, BRG came out.
The champion. And he came out with Rob Greer. And BRG was like, it wasn't me either. And they left Rob Greer kind of in the middle of it.
Yeah. Absolutely. And then Lumberjake squash BC Puntum.
Yep.
BRG just left them behind.
He did. It was pretty brutal.
Yeah, the match. And then, but there was a match. He was interrupted by 3 times. The guy who appeared all over the place, Mr. Dallas McCarthy. And out comes Lord Tensai himself, the dweller of the deep ocean state of Maine, Dylan Nix.
My God, it's Dylan Nix. This guy's getting better and better since I first saw him in Limitless Dojo or whatever it was, back on the road till right now, NCW, behind closed doors, to right now, NCW's, Sweet Victory. This guy has just grown. We had him on our show last year. I'm hoping to get him again this year. He's another one that's great with the suplex.
Big time. And he's kind of comedic, too, in the ring, too.
He is, but not now. Not tonight, and not then. And
ever since he turned on the dojo and Alexander Lee with the League of Excellence. He's been on a path of destruction.
Him too. Dallas McCarthy brings out the mean side in people.
Yeah.
And
they announced they were the 2001 stable of the year. That's when me and McCarthy, I call them hacks. That's because the unit doesn't spend enough time in NCW. We all know if the unit wanted to be in NCW every show, JT Dunn, Trigger the OG, Danny Miles even, they don't need AC, Alicia, or Mike Verna. They would have destroyed the League of Excellence. It would have been like the Job Squad versus the NWO.
My God, it would have been a massacre.
And Dallas McCarthy got really angry at me.
Well, yeah, I think this is when he probably dropped the R word, but...
Yeah, that's exactly...
But yeah, like I said, we're not going to go back and talk about it. We talked about it a little bit earlier in the episode, but... Yeah, but Dallas McCarthy was coming out every time, and he's talking about stable of the year, stable this, stable that, and we all know that you took the pledge. I took the pledge. We've taken the pledge, and very hard not to bring up other stables. But, so you had this match. What match was this now? Who actually wrestled in this? You named a bunch of names and people out there.
Lumberjake and Dylan Nix.
Okay, that's who the match was, and, after the ring was cleared of everybody else that wasn't involved.
Big, huge double choke slam after the match when Jake beat Dylan Nix to Stephen Lust and Nick Diamond.
Well, yeah, I got that actually on video, but the League of Excellence didn't do so excellent against Lumberjake.
Not at all. It's Lumberjake's all pissed off losing his title. Hated that it went to the trash.
Well, this is the thing, okay? Lumberjake didn't lose his title. He was robbed of the title. Robert Greer screwed him. BRG threw the thing away and came out with this victorious BRG championship. And, there is... the NCW doesn't have a, rematch clause. You don't get that rematch when you lose the title. Like WWE. There is no rematch clause. It's on to the next one. On to the next one. You're back down in the bottom. That's why he was fighting. He was, as I'm saying, you're back down there. He's going to have to. It might be another couple of years before he sees the title shot again.
He is the exclusive face of NCW.
Yeah, and how many years did we see him with before he had a title shot?
A long time.
Okay, then. Are you ready to move on?
Yes, we are. And it is for the NCW Tag Team Championship between the new Deliciously Vicious Vernon Callow, Vernon down the house, and the Natural Shannon Thomas versus the Return. First time since they left the main state posse, MSP of Aiden Agro and Danger Kid.
Now, let me tell you, first off, I was very wrong about this match. I was very wrong about Vernon Callow and Channing Thomas being able to work together and execute how a tag team should execute.
It's like Marvel. There's multiple universes in the indie wrestling.
Well, there is, but, you know, we never know how someone's going to act. And, he was very suspicious last year. Yeah, they shook hands, but, how can one be trusted really, truly?
Especially when Shannon Thomas is taking off in the wrestling world.
Everywhere else, he's world class.
And he was Goldberg's bodyguard in Gardner Door at SummerSlam, and he was part of that Eddie Kingston, Chris Jericho segment on the Connecticut Dynamite, being a guard.
Plus, he was spending all his time hanging out, being prestigious.
And I think that didn't get him anywhere.
I don't know. I mean, you got to remember, though.
He doesn't need those clowns.
But they did have a great feud with Davey Ann. They did bring in, some big numbers.
And we saw our friend cry.
We did. But I was very wrong about this. Now, I was hearing word that their name is actually
Deliciously Vicious.
Yeah, that's a straight name. Okay, I didn't really know they had a name. That's good. I wish they had matching gear though, because again, if you have a tag team name and you're no longer a makeshift team, then you need matching gear that says Deliciously, Naturally Vicious on it.
And Vern is one of my favorite rosters.
He is. This guy is incredible, okay? He is former world champion.
The charisma. He supports our podcast. I can't think of him.
He's great support. And, I've followed this guy for quite a while now, since starting watching NCW back in the day. And I think I still have my wristband that I got from, it was a selfie-made man wristband at the time. And I actually got a bunch of all of his shirts. I had a bunch of stuff. And Channing, like I said, big fan of Channing Thomas. This kid is taking off from Top Rope to NCW to NEW.
Limitless as the prestigious.
Limitless. I mean, we've seen him everywhere. We've seen him do excellent
New England
things.
All-Stars.
Pretty soon, we're not going to see him around here. I'm telling you. Pretty soon, you're only going to see him on TV. This kid is going to be the next to break out.
Oh, I absolutely agree with you, Versailles.
Okay, and then, they're fighting one of the top 10 tag teams in the world or whatever, MSP. These people made the PWI for the top 10.
Yeah.
What was it? Top 10 or something?
Yeah,
top
there
10.
were a lot of double side slams. The moves were excellent in this match.
I was psyched to see MSP. That they were at the first show that we went to in 2017 to NCW.
I met all three of them, Lee, Agro, and Danger Kid. They were very cool. Bought a bottle cap off of them.
Back in the day, I remember we got a picture with them. We got a picture with Ava Everett and Agro and 2, I think. And we got a bunch of pictures from that show. But yeah, we had a great time, and we didn't see MSP again in NCW. We did, however, see them again at Beyond.
Yeah, you always see them at Limitless.
But we didn't watch Limitless at the time. We watched Beyond, and we saw them at Beyond at Please Come Back. And then we saw them at Limitless really taking off. And again, this is a tag team that has taken off even more. They've gone through changes, at the hands of actually Channing Thomas. If you think about it, Channing Thomas and Prestigious actually is what ended the mainstay posse. Okay, that got rid of Alexander Lee, and now you have MSP the Vibe.
I love the Vibe. They always drip. They're always very charismatic in the ring. Got the dance moves incorporated with the wrestling style. Shannon Thomas and Agro were dancing before they made moves too.
They did. It was a very fun night and a very fun match. And MSP, I don't know if they're not really the fan favorites there We like them because we're used to watching Maine wrestling, where they are the fan favorites.
They like the Faces of tag team in Maine.
And across New England, honestly, right now. I mean, we've seen them all the way out in Jersey. We've seen them.
They're getting to be on the Crockett Cup for NWA.
I mean, that's insane. They're moving all over the place, and I couldn't be happy. They've moved all the way down to Florida for No Peace Underground. You know. So this was a great big matchup, but, you know, again, what I said about, you know, the tag team of Vern Vicalo and Channing, you know, not being able to, you know, cooperate together and pull off this victory.
Boy, we were wrong.
I was wrong. Yeah, we were. You know, they worked great together, and they overcame one of the top 10 tag teams in the world. I mean, they beat MSP and to hold on to those tag titles.
Yeah, and I think they got the League of Excellence coming after those titles.
Most likely, they're going to have, I think, what is it up next? Steve Lust and Nick Diamond?
Yeah, they could.
That could happen. That will be a good matchup.
Yeah, I'm fine with them having long reigns with those titles.
I mean, I wasn't at first, but if they're going to have a name, yeah, I mean, let's make it happen. If they're a legit tag team, let's go with it. And, I mean, honestly, let's see some matching gear.
And let's see them have world-class skills.
That'd be great.
With Sidney Buck.
Oh, you would love Sydney to be managing this tag team, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
It would make everything come true, wouldn't all your dreams, kid? It would be great.
Yeah, not exactly all of them. Don't have our friend John Van Vliet.
Oh, yeah, John Van Vliet's still in Florida. But I heard he might be coming back to Maine, too. So,
yeah.
You might have them all in one place. And then you had...
all of the friends are managers.
Then you went to go praise Chad. We went to go praise Chad Epic.
Which we'll be seeing this Saturday.
And he started to lick the other guy's boots.
With the wolf
no,
and
that's what I'm saying. He
fight?
started kissing John Alba's ass. We were putting the guy over. The fans voted. They said that Chad Epic was a better manager than John Alba. This isn't us just making shit up. We actually did a poll, and, people voted on this.
Yeah.
Didn't we? Somewhere on our
When
YouTube
Alba
poll.
was insulted, One Limitless podcast, because we said that's his catchphrase, professional wrestling's last great manager, when you said that. And he didn't realize, he looked, as you said, he was a better manager when John
Exactly. So then I asked the crowd and sourced it, and then, they said it. They said that they preferred Chad Epic. So, it is what it is. I mean, there's other managers. I mean, now you got Dallas McCarthy. You still got... You got all those NCW guys. But, it's a great tag team match, like I said. Let's see how they fare up against League of Excellence. I still think... Now, I mean, my mind's made up. I really think Chan and Ren will hold on to these titles for quite a bit of time. Okay, let's move on, though.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. I do like this guy that challenged the Riot. But the next match is for the New England Championship, with Riot Keller Thomas defending it against Iron Rip Bison. But we were very looking forward to Tim Lennox.
I was looking forward to Tim Lennox. I'm trying to get the inside
He was
scoop.
arrested and kicked off of a flight to Boston after smoking a cigarette in the airplane bag.
Well, yeah, I mean, that was that. I'm trying to get the inside scoop. I've reached out to him. He reached back to me. We're hoping to get him on the podcast sooner than later so he can tell us what actually happened. I want to know. And I got to tell my man how to vape. Because, when I go to the airport, I be vaping so I don't get caught. Why are you going to smoke a cigarette? You got to vape. Got to vape. I was looking forward to that match. I was looking forward to Tim Lennox becoming the new New England champion. But, no, this did not happen. Instead, we got the Riot Kellen Thomas and Rip Bison.
I do love Iron Rip Bison. His girlfriend was there, and one of his best friends were there, so you knew he was going to make the trip out to Dedham.
Yeah. One of his best friends was in the main event of the evening.
And he's a very hard-hitting bastard.
He is, and you know what? I mean, I have to give it up for, he might not be my most favorite wrestler, but, he can hit like a bastard, too.
Especially when Rip said he was in the VIP section, and Riot freaking shot them right in the seats.
The Riot can handle his own, okay? Like I said, he might not be the most dazzling, death-defying superstar doing flips or crazy-ass moves. He might not have the the best charisma with the fans. But I have to tell you one thing. NCW loves him. Okay? He is hard-hitting. He fights hard. I can see it. He's vicious. And he has passion for what he does. He believes in what he does. He believes in this sport of pro wrestling.
Yeah.
And he has some kick-ass Wolverine trunks.
Yeah.
Those were great. You don't see that often.
Yeah, and Rip just likes to hit change.
Rip is a beast, though. And we've seen Rip.
He grinds,
We've seen
for
Rip.
sure.
Yes, he does. We've seen Rip and have some very hard-hitting matches in Limitless. Beat the Freak. And even others. And we've seen him in, dog collar matches. Chairs being hit over his head, back. He's a madman. Right after intermission kind of guy.
Yeah.
Opens it right up.
Absolutely, and he's not really so loved in NCW, but as you could tell,
well, you got to remember, prior to him in NCW, he was Tomahawk. He was a Native American Tomahawk. So, and he was a tag team wrestler with Perry.
former champs.
Well, now you got him in singles competition out in Limitless for a while, and he comes back, and he's a different kind of guy. People got to get used to him. They're not used to this hard-hitting kind of style.
And he started a really great promotion with some of the best talent in the Northeast.
He did Pro Wrestling Grind. You can check that out. They have a upcoming show.
Yeah.
So this wasn't the match we were expecting, but it was a decent match. I'm going to say that, Oh, by the way, I wanted to say the Dylan Nix match, I'm giving that 4 stars.
Definitely. I'd say 3.7.
And the Osiris, I'm giving 4 stars as
4
well.
stars.
For the shock factor and for it was an overall just great match, story-wise. But I'm sorry, I had to go back to that. But going into this one, and I'm going to give this one a 3.5 stars.
That's what I would give it to. Because
the reason why I'm saying it was a great match, but
hard-hitting brawl.
Hard-hitting brawl, yes. The story, I just didn't know why. And like I said, with Tim Lennox being, not being able to compete, it just kind of fell flat for what I was expecting. But
especially Rip could have had a great singles, which he did have a great match with Kellen Thomas, but I didn't want him to be put in a title match and lose.
No, you don't. And it was, Riot Kellen Thomas, taking that victory. And, like I said, I might not be the biggest fan of his, but I will give it up to this. He did give a good performance. He defended the title well. And guess what? He's making his Proving Ground debut Saturday night.
Ooh, and the Anthony Green super fight.
Yeah, Anthony Green will be there. And Sean Lita will be taking on Montero for the second time.
Ooh. This is a guy I wish we saw more often in NCW, Sean Lita.
Yeah, we don't really see him much.
But are you ready to move on for Saturday?
I am.
You got the NCW Women's Championship between someone who's on fire, Little Mean Kathleen, versus the newly resurrected God Queen, Delmy Exo.
This was a great matchup, okay?
Delmy wasn't really didn't have a great ovation at all in Dedham.
No, she didn't, but she had a definite different kind of vibe. It's not, the singing happy sea star that we normally see. She was much darker. She was much, angrier. She was much more just
She mimicked
vicious.
the fans and LMK when they chanted for her.
Yeah, she was there for one reason and one reason only, and that was to pick up the win
But
and take that title.
LMK has had we talk about Becca a lot having a tear on this industry. LMK's really giving them a tear.
Yeah,
She's the face of Wrestle Open for females.
She's been having banger matches with Sydney Bogabella and working with
Ted Goods.
Teddy Goods and all of that. She's been doing great work. She's
got some Spike Dudley vibes in her.
100% Spike Dudley vibes, and she should. She's Spike Dudley trained. But
I really love this match. It was one of my favorites of the night.
Great women's match. And Delmy, gave a great performance. She fell a little short, though, as MLK would pick up that victory.
Yeah.
And now she's going to have to deal with the suplex sweetheart.
Isana. Because everyone's gunning for LMK in NCW now ever since she did beat the leader of the Scrunchy Squad for the NCW Women's Championship. She's the second ever champion. And I do think we'll see how she goes over a new kind of Isana.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Like when she has those kicks to hit Delmy, Delmy couldn't counter it even though she tried to mimic the crown. And she got DDT'd on the belt.
Yeah, it's gonna be a vicious match between those two.
Now you ready to move on?
I am.
And this is the main event for the evening. The person who cashed in his Ox Baker Cup, the Ox Baker champion, Mr. Monster Truck, Perry Von Vicious. It's a small world after all, taking the victorious champion, Ryan Gosling. Oh, I'm sorry, Brett Ryan Gosling.
Yeah, no, what a transformation in Perry Von Vicious. When I first saw him in NCW, he was much skinnier. Not from weight-wise, but muscle-wise. He didn't have the muscle mass. He had this money suit. And, yeah, he was this kind of heel that just... nobody really liked him. We all kind of just, threw shade at him.
He was more of a businessman.
Yeah.
Now he's a go-happy monster truck
now
Disney
he's
fanatic.
ripped. He's gained a lot of mass over the pandemic, okay? Very muscles. He's a monster wherever he goes now, okay? Doing great things in grind. He won this, he's the Ox Baker champion.
He's doing great in Blitzer Egg Pro.
He is. Ox Baker champion, cashes in. He's getting his title shot against, BRG. This man has no fear. He doesn't care who's in BRG's corner. He doesn't care who's in his pocket. He's here to kick his ass.
He definitely intended.
And if you feel that Perry go around, it's over.
Yeah, and he did. BRG got the foot in the bottom rope once that happened.
Well, that's what happened. Everybody got the victory. Perry, we see it in his face. He's ready. He's won. He's happy. But I guess BRG had his foot on the rope on the far side towards the wall where we couldn't see it. Perry didn't know.
Really?
He thought he was champion. And then BRG went and took the victory.
I'm really a huge fan of Perry Von Vicious. Great guy all around. He has that nice Perry go-around move.
Does. It was,
monster.
Had that foot not landed on the rope, he would have had the victory.
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't happen. And
I was hoping to see a new champ, but I knew ever since BRG won that he wasn't going to lose his first title defense.
I don't know. I had my ways. I thought maybe Perry would have won him, but maybe he would have been like, yeah, you won, but not this belt. You won the title I threw away. Yeah. I didn't know which way it was going to go, honestly. But, BRG still victorious. Probably the only place he is victorious, really, is NCW.
He has a losing streak everywhere. But he did beat Shannon in top rope.
Yeah, like one time cheating.
He is a cheater. He's a Canadians fan. What you expect?
I guess that's only kayfabe. I asked him. He said something. He said he's not. He swears he's not a Canadian fan. I think he's only a kayfabe Canadian fan. I really do. I don't believe he actually is. I wonder who he really actually likes as a team. I know it's not the Bruins, but you got to think he's out from Connecticut. Probably New York fan.
Maybe the Rangers, or could be the Islanders, even the Devils.
Yeah, it could be one of them teams. But, I think the Canadian thing is just a work. But, any which way, he is still the NCW reigning heavyweight victorious world champion.
Prestigious champ.
And, what's next for him, we just have to wait and see. NCW's got some more shows lined up. They're going back to Bristol, Rhode Island, and then back to Dedham, Massachusetts.
April 9th, I believe,
yep.
Right?
Tickets already on sale, 20 VIP. And, if you want to get a good seat, it's the only way to go. Otherwise, you're going to be standing. I'm telling you, these things sell out. This was a great crowd. It was a very packed night. A lot of great people out there. It was good showing. We got to see a lot of, the regular fans out there. And like I said, it was just a great evening of wrestling. We were
Fun
VIP.
evening.
We got our walk-in tacos or our pizza. I took
got
the
a
pizza. Came with a poster. And yeah, it was, another great night of NCW wrestling. I mean, I'll give that main event probably about a 4. It was an exciting match, and I do like Perry. I mean, the
women's
over
match, I'll give a 4.5.
Yeah, I mean, that was something fresh. The only thing is, no title changes here. So all the champions are still the
some of the
same.
matches were shorter than it could have been.
But there was a lot of matches on the card. So, I mean, you can't have both ways. I mean, but it was also kind of a little bit of a long show.
Definitely.
But it was good. It was a good show. It was a good comeback show, I think, overall. I can't wait to see what NCW has in store for us this year, because anything can happen there at NCW, and they have a bunch of events lined up. We will see a new Big City Rumble. We will see, a new...
And all the way up to WrestleFest.
All the way up to WrestleFest, exactly. So, just going to have to stay tuned. We got a bunch of things coming for you, too, as well this week. We're going to be talking probably Chaotic Wrestling. Now we got that on Friday night.
Yeah, in Lexington.
The return of that. The order of shows have been kind of this. The weather versus Chaotic has been the theme. They just had the New Hampshire show. We didn't
now
get
I know
out
why
there.
they don't run NCW in the winter.
Yeah, right. We didn't get to go to that one, but we will be going to this one. We'll be going to Tewksbury. It's all leading up to Cold Fury. And we're also, this Saturday, brand new, Billerica, Massachusetts, Pop-Up Wrestling. We're going to do a preview show of that. I got a bunch of names, legends, Tony Atlas.
Mr. John Sr., the father of the man you can't see.
Mancini. You got a bunch of names on this
Flex
card.
Armstrong.
And like I said, you're going to
Hayden
actually have Flex Armstrong, Danny
We got
Miles.
Jora Joe from AEW Dark.
There you go. It's going to be a great show. And we're going to have a little preview of that as well.
The Beantown Sports Wolfcast is returning on Sunday.
That is going to be amazing, folks. And not to mention, we're also going to be starting up something brand new. A new weekly virtual wrestling show.
I cannot wait.
It'll be on Twitch and on YouTube. It'll be coming really soon, so just stay tuned for all that excitement. Thank you, everybody, for listening tonight.
Thank you, everybody.
Have yourself a good night and a sweet victory. Versace, Stoner out.
Victory, disable folk.